In a busy street in the heart of Paris, among the clamor of tourists and the scent of fresh pastries, stood a determined 13-year-old girl named Layla. With dark, curly hair, pulled into a ponytail, and a faded blue jacket 2 sizes too big, she stood small but hopeful. Her bright brown eyes sparkled with resilience, even as her face bore quiet traces of worry. She had fled her war-torn homeland, leaving everything behind, including her family. Here, in this foreign city, she hoped to rewrite her story. Language was Layla's first obstacle. In a shelter room she shared with strangers, she sat curled in a corner, overwhelmed by her new school and the fast-flowing language she didn't yet understand. But Layla was resolute. She knew that to belong, to build a future, she needed to learn English. So she began a journey that would slowly change her life. After school, Layla visited the local library with a secondhand notebook and a fierce determination. The shelves towered around her, filled with stories she couldn't yet read, but they beckoned. She started with children's books, their simple words a balm to her spirit. Occasionally, the elderly librarian, Mrs. Thompson, would offer a warm smile or a few kind words. "You're doing wonderfully, dear." It was all Layla needed to keep going. She immersed herself in stories, tales of bravery, struggle, and triumph that mirrored her own life. Reading aloud, her tongue stumbled over unfamiliar sounds. Her accent was thick, but she pushed on. Each book brought new vocabulary and a growing confidence. For the first time since arriving, she felt less alone. As the months passed, Layla began participating in class. Her conversations at lunch, though awkward at first, grew more natural. One day, during a group project, she spoke about her homeland, a place filled with culture and beauty, though marked by conflict. Her classmates listened, moved. That day marked a shift. Empathy replaced distance, and friendships began to form. With her English improving, Layla began to dream. She stared longingly at the scholarship posters on the school's walls. Could someone like her, alone, uncertain, still learning, dare to apply to an Ivy League school? One night, long after the shelter had gone quiet, Layla opened her old laptop. She didn't have a mentor or a tutor, but she had courage. Slowly, she wrote her application essay. She shared her past, her passion for learning, and the small kindnesses that had shaped her. It was honest, vulnerable, and full of hope. Weeks passed in anxious anticipation. Her friends, now like family, cheered her on. When the letter arrived, her hands trembled as she opened it. Her eyes locked on 3 words: "You're accepted." For a moment, the world stood still. Tears streamed down her face, tears of disbelief, joy, and release. She had made it. The girl who once whispered English words in a corner now had a place in one of the world's most prestigious universities. Her classmates hugged her, her teachers cried, and Mrs. Thompson brought her a new journal for the next chapter of her life. On the day she left for college, the community gathered in the courtyard to see her off. Layla wore a navy dress and the same worn sneakers that had carried her through so much. Surrounded by laughter and well wishes, she felt wrapped in love. College brought new challenges, but she no longer feared them. She started study groups, mentored other newcomers, and created safe spaces where everyone felt welcome. Her past had taught her empathy, and she gave it freely. Layla became a voice of strength, speaking at forums, inspiring others, and reminding them that resilience can turn pain into purpose. Her story moved hearts, proving that kindness and determination can truly change lives. Years later, Layla still walked through life with quiet purpose. Her journey, from refugee to scholar, from silence to strength, had touched many. She had once arrived in Paris with nothing but hope. Now, She carried a legacy of light, determined to pass it on wherever her path led next.